I just finished another book in the Spooksville series. This is number 2. I wanted to hold off on reading this series until summertime because this book takes place at a lighthouse, on the beach. Had to be a summertime book. But yeah, I'm happy to have this one finished. And yeah, this book, a lot of people were kind of mixed on, or at least some reviews or whatever. I've heard people say this book is really great. I heard people say that this book is just kind of okay. I am in the audience, I guess, saying that this book was absolutely fantastic. This is one of my favorite books in the Spooksville series so far. I've only read 2, so that's not really saying much, but yeah, this book was absolutely fantastic. This was probably one of my favorite books of the year. I know it's going kind of crazy, but yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I had a lot more fun than what I thought it was. And I guess one of the main reasons was I didn't really know what was going to happen. This is a series that I'm not really familiar with. I'm absolutely falling in love very slowly with this series. But yeah. The story itself starts off with Cindy and her little brother. They're on the beach, and her little brother is named Neil. He is playing on the jetty, which I have no idea what a jetty is. I'm thinking it's like a dock. I should have Googled that before I started this review, but it is what it is. Yeah, Neil is playing on the beach, or on the jetty, and Cindy's watching him, and she's like reciting this poem that she learned from her dad. Her dad recently passed away, and they moved to Spooksville, and they see this, she sees this lighthouse light up, and sees these ghost hands come out, and hears a howling noise, and Neil gets lifted up in the air and taken away. And this traumatized Cindy, she doesn't know what to do. And yeah, that's the opening scene of this book. Very creepy. We cut to watch Sally and Adam. They're sitting at this booth at this like ice cream place, I think, or donut place or whatever. Sally's drinking coffee. Sally's very hilarious at the beginning of this book, and she still is. Sally's one of my favorite characters in the series. I heard a lot of people complain about like how things happen later in this book or whatever, and it really wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. But yeah, more on that in a second. So they're sitting in this booth, and Sally stumbles across this newspaper article or watch or somebody, and basically learned that there was a kid that went missing near the beach, and the little girl named Cindy claims that a ghost got her brother, but nobody seems to believe her. And yeah, Sally and her friends really want to help, find her brother and prove that it is a ghost and not just, that the most logical explanation was that he drowned and that's what everybody thinks. Also, going on a tangent, that's kind of sad because, the mom just moved here and she lost her husband that passed away, and now she lost her son. So that's absolutely very dark and very sad already in this book. So yeah, they go to Cindy's house. Cindy's on her front doorstep crying, and Sally introduces themselves, and they want to go and try to find the find out what happened, find this ghost that took their kid. They say that they believe her, and yeah, so they head to the lighthouse. They build this little rope thing, or have this little rope thing that they tie to the jetty again. And they go into the lighthouse, and Watch discovers that the lighthouse has burnt wires or corroded wires. And they also discover that there's this initials on the desk. And I don't remember exactly what the initials are. I think it's like Rick and Love's mom or something. It's something like that. Something along those lines. So yeah, with this little bit of information, they decide to go to the library. And this is where the favorite part of the book, this definitely is a biased thing. I love when these type of books have a creepy librarian or creepy library in general, and this has probably the creepiest librarian I've ever read. Maybe not as creepy as Mr. Mortman, but yeah, from the Goosebumps series, but this guy is pretty creepy. I don't know, maybe. I hate to say that. Mr. Mortman's my man, But yeah. This guy that runs this library is named Mr. Spiny. Mr. Spiny is rumored to collect people's bones and ask people how their bones are doing and offer them milk to help build their bones strong. He is accused of being like a grave robber, stealing bones, putting them in his closet. all this fun, fantastic stuff. But yeah, Mr. Spiny is one of my favorite characters. They go and they do some studying, and they learn that basically there was this ship that wrecked, and the ship that wrecked had it was supposed to have a lighthouse that led them to the thing, but it hit a reef, and there was a kid playing around the lighthouse and messed up the light somehow. And yeah, the woman that caretook the lighthouse, supposedly the kids think that they took Neil because she wanted a kid of her own because she lost her kid like in the boating accident or something. But yeah, that's basically all I'm going to leave because that's what they think happens, but we don't know for sure. They leave from there and they go back to the lighthouse, and this is kind of close to the climax, so I'm not really going to say much more. But yeah, this book was fantastic. I absolutely loved the reveal of who the ghost was. If I'm not going to say if there is a ghost or not, because part of the appeal of this book was I didn't know if the ghost was actually going to be real. I thought it was going to be like a hoax or something. I kind of had that vibe going on. Like the beginning of this book felt like almost like an X-Files opening, or I think Sean Stevenson said that it kind of reminded him of like a Scooby-Doo episode or something. Or maybe he said X-Files. I'm not sure. It reminded me kind of a little bit of both. But yeah, this is a little bit more mature than a Scooby-Doo episode. So yeah, that's kind of why it reminded me of an X-Files episode. But yeah, yeah, this was fantastic. This was one of my favorite books. I enjoyed the ending. I enjoyed how the climax happened. I'm not going to say much. Everything tied together in a nice little bow. The only complaints I have would be that maybe there's some meandering parts, like when they go underwater, but even that is very great. The whole Sally, there's a thing with like Sally liking Adam. She liked him in the first book, she likes him in this book, and Cindy kind of talks to him, and Sally gets a little jealous despite all of this stuff going on. A lot of people had problems with that, but it didn't really bother me that much. I mean, I kind of glossed over it, but it is noticeable, but not Eventually, Sally does get a little annoying, but not terribly. But yeah, all of the kids have their own little quirks and different things like that. Adam has a very dry sense of humor. Sally's very sarcastic. Watch is just very book smart. They mesh well together. Cindy, I don't know much about her yet, but she's kind of coming into her own. I hope that she comes into her own in the next book, which I'm excited for. But yeah, that's basically The Howling Ghost. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. Again, this book is fantastic. I highly recommend it. Spooksville series so far is good. Can't wait to read number 3. And yeah, see you guys next time. Bye.